Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chanel and Johnny lie in bed together in the dark at the DiMera mansion, and Johnny asks her to marry him once more. Johnny thought back to the difficulty Holly was going through. Johnny stated that no one knew for sure how much time was left. What's more, that has caused me to acknowledge I would rather not go through one more day without you, Chanel. Along these lines, we should get hitched once more, Johnny said. Johnny added that he had been considering proposing to Chanel before special times of year. As Johnny meandered aimlessly about conceivable wedding objections, Chanel reminded Johnny that he hadn't as expected requested that she wed him. Chanel said that she believed Johnny should astonish her. "That is just about my number one thing to do," Johnny said. From the foyer minutes after the fact, Johnny hollered for Chanel to shut her eyes. At the point when Johnny entered and Chanel woke up, she saw Johnny wearing only a dark tie around his neck. Johnny gave Chanel a red rose, and he dropped to one knee as he proposed to Chanel. "Chanel Dupree. I love you with everything that is in me. What's more, I feel like the most fortunate person on earth to have you in my life. You merit the world, and I mean to give it to you since you are my reality. Anyway, will you wed me?" Johnny asked softly as he delivered a ring. With tears in her eyes, Chanel grinned generally. Chanel acknowledged Johnny's proposition, and the couple celebrated with a kiss. Johnny joked that the ring he had given Chanel was short-term. Johnny told Chanel that the ring was an Italian signet ring that Stefano had given to him after Johnny graduated from high school. Johnny guaranteed that Chanel would have a conventional ring soon. Before long, a short time later, Johnny got back with hot fudge desserts for himself and Chanel. Chanel said that she had cherished Johnny's thought for a proposition. Johnny and Chanel stated that they were looking forward to getting married once more. "Also, you can read my mind? Perhaps we could get in a little practice for our wedding night," Chanel said as she got Johnny's tie and pulled him close for a kiss. At Wendy and Tripp's condo, Wendy and Tripp lay in bed together and talked affectionately to each other. Wendy got a call from her mom in Hong Kong. Tripp set out toward the kitchen, where he was frightened to find Ava drinking alone in obscurity on the couch. Ava informed Tripp about the earlier that evening police raid on the bistro, and she added that the police had not discovered anything. Tripp begged Ava to allow him to help her. Tripp was advised to return to bed by Ava dismissively. At the point when Wendy showed up, Tripp multiplied down on his inquiries for Ava, who said that Tripp ought to have taken her recommendation and left for Hong Kong with Wendy. Ava attempted to recommend that the strike at the bistro had been a consequence of her having unloaded Harris. Tripp dissented, and he took steps to call Harris. Ava harshly let Tripp and Wendy know that they couldn't go to the police. Ava said that the police could be more bad than residents, and she burst into the visitor room. Alone in the parlor, Wendy promised to join Tripp in his endeavors to help Ava. At the Salem police headquarters, Harris joined Rafe and Jada in the cross-examination room. They conjectured on why the assault at the bistro had fizzled. Rafe said that he had by approved each official that had been associated with the attack. "Might we at any point have a messy cop?" Harris inquired. Rafe said that the possibility of a bad cop nauseated him, yet he concurred that it must be viewed as a chance. Harris, Jada, and Rafe consented to remain quiet about their doubts. Jada got an alarm on her telephone, and she left. Subsequently, Harris said that he had felt a feeling of pomposity from Stefan after the strike had don't turned up anything. Rafe cautioned that neither Stefan nor Ava could be relied upon. Harris conceded that Ava had a checkered past, yet he said that he felt she had changed in the months when he had been getting to know her. Rafe proposed that Harris was permitting his own affections for Ava to impede the police's examination, and he took steps to have Harris taken out from the case. Harris fought that it wasn't required. Harris firmly swore to his professional integrity and dedication to the case when Rafe inquired if he was certain there would not be any bias in the case. Rafe apologized for offending Harris with his remarks regarding Harris's objectivity. Harris moaned to himself after Rafe had left the room. Harris then streaked back to his candlelit supper with Ava weeks sooner at the bistro. Harris had slow hit the dance floor with Ava as delicate music played. Simultaneously, across town, Ava had the very flashback and memory that Harris was having. Ava stared intently at Harris's picture and phone number on her phone. Ava hollered as she tossed her telephone against a wall, and she showed up very nearly tears. Likewise at the police headquarters, Jada got a call at her work area from Brady, who shared that Teresa was absent. Brady stressed that Teresa could have backslid because of her concerns over Tate. Jada urged Brady to document a report for someone who has gone missing. Brady begged Jada for replies. Brady got a call back from Jada shortly after, telling him that she had found Teresa at the Prairie Motel. "And Brady, she's flying high like a kite," Jada apologized. At the Grassland Inn, Jada invited Brady and Alex into a room that Teresa had leased. Teresa yelled that she wanted to party as she fell backward onto the edge of the bed after Brady and Alex were able to wake her up. Jada joined Teresa, who said she was getting warmer. Despite Alex's insistence that there was no need to transport Teresa to the hospital, Brady and Alex attempted to choose where to take Teresa with the goal that she wouldn't create a situation. Brady said that they had no choice but to stay with Teresa at the motel when Alex said that his roommates would be up all night. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Kristen DiMera is furious with Brady Black for not showing up to see Rachel Black. However, once Kristen realizes what is going on with Tate Black, she decides to back off and give Brady a break. Brady and Alex agreed to call 911 if something happened to Teresa. Brady and Kristen reconnect after blow-up. Will the exes reconnect over their little girl's distress? Days of Our Lives spoilers, Rachel Black is having nightmares about her father. According to what Kristen told Brady, Rachel has been having nightmares about her father. This is probable the main explanation that Kristen consented to a visit since she has been the one keeping Brady and Rachel separated for these months. Sadly, Kristen does nothing without an ulterior rationale with regards to Brady. Days of Our Lives spoilers, Brady and Kristen reconnect after blow-up. Kristen has vowed to set up one more date for Brady to drop by and see their little girl. Meanwhile, she has an opportunity to deal with her freshest plan obviously. Will Kristen attempt to make some things happen with EJ DiMera to get Tate out of prison and back home where he should be before the kid gets injured? DOL, Kristen DiMera has a weakness for Tate Dark. Can we just look at things objectively? Kristen has a weakness for Tate, whom she named Christopher a long time back. Kristen gave birth to Tate herself after stealing the embryo of Teresa Donovan. Brady and Teresa later protected their child when they understood how Kristen had treated him. Nonetheless, Kristen still views him as her child at times. It is not difficult to envision Kristen welcoming Brady over to see Rachel and getting some information about Tate. Yet again, Kristen knows precisely the way in which weak Brady is with regards to his children, and she could unquestionably play on that to get her guides into Brady. Brady doesn't have anybody to rest on the present moment, and Kristen isn't past exploiting that. Days of Our Lives, a fleeting romance. Kristen may be yearning for a romantic reuniting, but Brady is more focused on safeguarding his son. Spoilers recommend that Brady and Kristen's ceasefire won't keep going long in light of the fact that there is more difficulty preparing between these two. In any case, Brady might rest on Kristen until further notice, which could give her some expectation that they could find their direction back to one another.